Ladies and gents, my name is Xander, aka Diaside, and in this video it's all about this gorgeous crossbow and ballistic knife, and I got a hunch that you're going to absolutely annihilate, decimate, and eradicate so many players once you understand number one, how to get these two beauties, as well as how to use them. Luckily for all of us, that's exactly what we're going to get into this very second, as well as some examples in slow motion, breaking them down step by step so that you know how to get those precision shots, making enemy players a little bit salty. The only thing left to do is just to simply sit back, relax, eviscerate that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's jump right into the video. First things first, how do you unlock the crossbow? In 15 different matches, one must get 3 one-shot, one-kill medals using a weapon with no attachments. That's very simple because all you gotta do is just go into sticks and stones. And likewise, you can do the exact same thing for the Ballistic Knife challenge, as that one's almost identical but a little bit different, and it states that in 15 different matches, one must get a one-shot, one-kill medal and a regular melee kill in the same life. Just that we're all on the exact same page, a one-shot, one-kill medal is defined as killing an enemy at full health with a single shot. Keyword there is at full health with a single shot. And once again, how is this going to be done? Simply going into sticks and stones. That is easily and by far the best game mode for you to unlock both these two weapons. It's now that you kind of know how to unlock them, and sticks and stones, you gotta know how to use them, so that's what we're going to cover this very second. Before we begin to get into the examples, what you gotta understand first is the crossbow as well as the ballistic knife's pros and cons. With the crossbow, it's got an almost instantaneous shot, but the downside here is that it takes decades to reload. And inversely to this is the ballistic knife, where the ballistic knife actually has a little bit of a delay when you actually pull the trigger to when the weapon actually fires, but then after that, the reload is very fast and almost instantaneous. Now, what I found after many games is that using the crossbow in the longer range engagements is definitely ideal, whereas the ballistic knife is actually the inverse of this, using it in close range engagements. Now, that's not to say that you can't use the ballistic knife in cross-map engagements and you can't use the crossbow in close range engagements, as you certainly can. But just as a rule of thumb, that's kind of what I tend to do, and so once you understand how to use these things more proficiently, that'll make a lot more sense, and so what we're going to do first is understand how to use each of these two beauties by looking at the bullet drop. For those of you that have already played Battlefield, many of you know exactly what I mean by bullet drop, because when you use a sniper in that game, the bullet literally has to be dropping over a cross-map distance, and you have to anticipate for that. There's no difference here with the crossbow, and the same goes for the ballistic knife. And just so that you guys can see this, here's our first example of the crossbow having exactly this, bullet drop, or rather arrow drop. As I shoot in anticipation ahead of the player, I actually get him, but the only reason why that worked is because I was shooting ahead. If I shot where he currently was, that arrow would have missed. As I rewind this and I put it on pause, you're going to see exactly this, from where I actually fired the arrow to where the player truly was, and lo and behold, I still land that shot. Likewise, I found myself using the ballistic knife almost in the exact same spot on the exact same map with a different player. And so as you guys can tell from right there, I happen to once again shoot ahead of the player, happen to land the shot, and thus I get the kill. When I rewind this and put it on pause, once again what you're going to see, exactly where I'm shooting ahead of the player and not where he currently is. I'm telling you, this is where the mindset that I preach, anticipation without hesitation, always comes into play. If you're not using this mindset, anticipating where people are going to be, and then taking the shot, trusting your instincts, you're going to land a lot more arrows and a lot more knives, and they're going to be saying, what the heck did I just get wrecked by? And it's going to be a very gratifying feeling. Now, the engagement that you guys just saw was very close proximity, or around that same close range distance. But now we're going to show you one more example of this using the ballistic knife at longer range distances, almost barely even seeing a player. And so as you guys can see from right there, that guy's in the far back, and yet somehow I still managed to get that shot. Reason being because I'm anticipating where he's going to be and actually shooting above his head and off to the left. The exact same thing is also true for the next couple of engagements. For the second engagement, I'm shooting off to the right at approximately a 45-degree angle above his head. And the same thing is also true for that last engagement, but this time around, I'm going to the left-hand side of his head once again at a 45-degree angle. What I just showed you is vital to understand. But something that a lot of players don't know about is that you don't actually have to maintain a line of sight in order to get these kills. What do I mean? Let me show you. In this next example, you're going to see that initially, I maintain line of sight, but as soon as I happen to fire the ballistic knife, what do? I go behind cover, let the weapon, or rather the knife, travel its distance, and then it all of a sudden lands. Once again, this almost identically happens just the same way, but this time in the little hallway down there, and as you can tell from right there, I shot with line of sight, ducked behind cover, and what do you know, lo and behold, I land the shot. I'm going to put it on pause just as I'm actually landing the shot against the enemy players, and you're going to see that what am I? Behind cover. But what I also want to note very importantly is that crossbows can do this exact same thing. The only real difference is that crossbows have a little bit of a faster shot time, or rather travel time, in contrast to that of the ballistic knife. So you might not be able to get behind cover as quickly, but once again, the exact same principles hold true for that of the crossbow. Now remember what I said at the very beginning of the video in terms of the pros and cons? The crossbow has a terrible reload time, and so while you're reloading, you have to become evasive. And so that's what this next example is all about, being evasive while you're reloading using the crossbow. As I play this example in real time, I miss a couple of shots and I land a couple of shots, but the main takeaway from this is that what am I doing? I'm jumping in the air, I'm moving left and right, I'm strafing backwards and forwards, I'm also sliding. What's this causing me to be? A much harder target to hit. But once I had the shot loaded, what am I? Stationary, and I take my shot and I hopefully land that shot, but if I miss, I do the process all over again. The main principle takeaway from this is to never be predictable. Once you become predictable, aka non-evasive, you're gonna get shot every single time, and you don't want that, I don't want that, nobody wants that. So make sure that you're always evasive by jumping, ducking, sliding, whatever it is that you gotta do, as well as strafing, and then you're gonna be a-okay. Recall that I said from earlier that the crossbow is better for those longer range engagements and that the ballistic knife is better for the close range engagements? Well, this next example is going to be showing you exactly this by having area control. What exactly is area control? Pretty much holding down the spawn point and the spawn locations of where you currently spawn. You guys can tell from right here, I'm playing this in real time and I'm not going to rewind it or do anything else like that. But what you're going to see is that I'm going from engagement to engagement to engagement, always anticipating where the enemy players are going to spawn, using the crossbow or the ballistic knife respectively for where I feel the best range engagement is for that weapon. Now I'm no god, and so I'm going to miss my shots just the same way that you will, but as long as you're able to hold down this area, or rather an area in general where you spawn, you're going to have a much better chance of being able to get bloodthirsty medals, 10 streaks, 15 streaks, and so on and so forth, all while maintaining the what? Anticipation without hesitation mindset. I'm doing this over and over again, all while holding down the area, and thus I absolutely get many kills here, and it's like, yes please, I'll take that check, thank you, come again. With the final example here, we're going to see all this stuff that I've been talking about culminating into one overall play. And so as you can tell from right here, I've got my crossbow, I see my first guy, I find the next guy, the next guy, the next guy, the next guy, and ultimately it ends in getting a fury kill with just the crossbow alone. This example right here proves to you that I know exactly what I'm talking about, because I can do this with the crossbow and the ballistic knife and swap back and forth, especially within the range engagement in which these things were designed in. Remember what I also said from earlier? You don't have to use the crossbow nor the ballistic knife in those close or cross out distances respectively, as they can be interchanged just as you saw from right here. Remember, bullet drop, anticipating where that bullet drop is going to occur with that range engagement that you're actually in, is vital for you to be able to use both these crossbows as well as the ballistic knife. As long as you play some sticks and stones, you're going to be done with this in no time whatsoever, and I'm telling you guys, it's going to be an absolute blast. When I was playing sticks and stones, I was just having so much fun, and yes, I got tomahawked and then I got humiliated, and of course I went down to 0 in the terms of points, but you know what, I really didn't care, because this is so much fun. You're going to have the exact same experiences, and I can't wait to hear about all of it down in the comment section below, and let me know what you guys think. Are you using these same tips? Are you not? Are you using something different? Whatever it might be, I want to hear all about it, and you always know that I'm going to respect your opinions, and that is something that I can guarantee. That's much all I've got for you as of right now, Diaslayers, and so as always, GG, TNT.